I invested $10,000 into NIO. Yeah, like I just took all the money that I've been selling puts for the past couple of years and just decided I'm going to throw $10,000 into NIO. I want to explain to you guys why I did, and I've got several reasons, but stick around because the last reason is the most important. Corey here. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, tap the bell, and give me a thumbs up as it greatly helps the channel grow. I invested $10,000 into NIO because I believe in the company. And we looked over the financials in a previous video. But I want to point out something very important. Net income, although a pretty good indicator and metric on a company's financial health, is not as good as my favorite, cash flow. And the reason for this is net income and pre-tax income profit figures are easier to manipulate with write-offs, depreciation, and other things that can be fudged around. Free cash flow is a much better indicator, and NIO's numbers are a lot better than people think they are. Not to mention they've delivered a lot of vehicles, and they have a very good CEO who's heavily invested with 5.8% of the company. So let's sit here and talk about some facts about NIO and why I invested $10,000 and why right now the stock is pretty much at a rock bottom and it's a bargain to get in. In fact, I believe in NIO so much that I didn't even sell puts on NIO. I just bought the stock because I didn't want to waste any time. I sell puts, the stock goes up, I have to roll out and up, but I am just kind of fearful that NIO might start going back up and selling puts will make me miss the entry, which I have done many times in the past, including Lyft being one of the stocks that I missed a critical entry point on. So there's a lot of things going on with NIO, and it's not entirely NIO's fault. NIO had 160,000 plus deliveries in 2023, which is up over 30% from the previous year. Vehicle margins in 2023 were 11.9% versus 6.8% in 2022. Gross profit was 10.5% higher in quarter 4 23 versus quarter 4 22. NIO's net loss in quarter 4 2023 was 7.2% less than quarter 4 2022. However, it was an increase of 17.8% versus quarter 3 2023. So what have we learned with these numbers? Well, it's clear that NIO did better in 23 than 22, but quarter 3 23 was better than quarter 4. And if you look at the fundamentals, technicals, cash flow, and the financials of all EV automakers, it's pretty much very similar and on par. That means NIO's poor performance in the stock market right now is more relative to an overall sector sentiment. The overall EV sector is not doing that well. So that basically means that NIO's negative sentiment right now is mostly on the sector and not NIO. Vehicle sales were up 8.2% in 2023 versus 2022. The CEO holds 5.8% of all shares in the company. It's always good when CEOs and insiders are heavily invested in a company. It is definitely more of a core fundamental strength. Insiders own $723 million worth of shares. That is very good. 46% of total ownership in shares is from the general public, coming mostly from private investors like myself and like you. And the last two reasons why I invested in NIO, and the most important reasons, is because one, NIO's sitting on $8.1 billion in cash. And number two, just as important, if not more important, NIO has a net cash flow of $2.178 billion. They have way more cash than they do debt. There's a lot that goes into understanding a lot of these metrics. But overall, this picture clearly illustrates that NIO's struggles right now in the stock market aren't entirely NIO's fault. When you look at the overall sector, Tesla's down, Rivian's down, Lucid Motors is really down, Li Auto is down, BYD is down, Fisker's damn near bankrupt, Canoo is damn near bankrupt, and you got Workhorses on the brink of bankruptcy themselves. And yet, NIO still manages to stay around $4 or $5 a share. There's really three big players in the EV game: Tesla, NIO, and of course Rivian. Li Auto and BYD are also good, but I feel that NIO's future is better. Right now, NIO is at a bargain, and it's my opinion that right now is the time to buy, even if the stock goes down 30 or 40 more cents. I feel the next earnings call is going to beat the expectation. By how much? I don't know, but I do feel that the next earnings is going to be better than expectations, and I think it's going to set the trend moving forward. Right now, the overall sentiment is not good in the EV sector per se. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the fact that NIO is a Chinese ADR stock also hurts the stock as well. But if we just forget that it's a Chinese stock and we just forget about the overall sector sentiment, NIO in their own right are actually not doing that bad at all. In fact, they're doing really good, which is why I invested $10,000 of my own money into NIO. Let's take a look at some of the fundamentals, technicals, and financials of NIO, and then I'll just go ahead and give you guys a quick demo on how to sell some puts or get right into NIO and sell some covered calls. But first, I just want to let you guys know that I am no financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I'm just helping you guys understand the technicals, the fundamentals, and how you guys can manage your strategies a little bit better. But it's ultimately up to you which stock you invest your money in and how much you invest. That's completely up to you, as it's your money. I'm just trying to coach you guys to understand the market a little bit better. I learned a lot when I got my bachelor's degree in finance and studied data analytics and psychology. Overall, they worked together hand in hand and gave me a really good fundamental to start learning the stock market. With my degree and my experience in the stock market combined, I've learned so much over the years in understanding the core fundamentals of investing, and I'm trying to help you guys understand and teach you how you can be profitable as well. I finally have financial freedom by trading options and stocks and overall investing, and I want to teach you guys the exact same thing. So here you go. NIO net cash flow, $2.178 billion. Crazy. See, net income is in the negative. I'm not exactly sure where their income is going, but these numbers can be fudged. They can be. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying it's a lot easier to fudge around and mess with net income and pre-tax income and your overall operating income or investment incomes like on your balance sheets than it is to mess around with free cash flow or net cash flow, which they have $2.178 billion of cash flow, and they're sitting on $8.1 billion in total cash assets. Now, when we look at net debt, we can see negative $2.9 billion. That means they're in the positive. They're not in debt. When you see a negative, that means they are $2.9 billion in positive. After their total assets minus all of their debt, they're left with $2.9 billion. NIO is not really in debt. I mean, there's certain aspects to understand that, yes, they are in debt, but overall, they're not in the kind of debt that some people think they are. They have a lot of resources, a lot of cash flow, and they're sitting on a lot of cash, and they're selling quite a few vehicles, and insiders hold a significant portion of the shares, and the rest are all general public investors, individuals like myself and you. So the overall sentiment of the sector, like I said, is what's hurting NIO. I finally invested into NIO, and this was the single-handedly largest investment I've made in any single stock at one time. I believe in NIO. They're at a bottom here, and they're consolidating at $4.50. When we see the downtrend right here and the new support line at $4.50, we can see a bull flag is starting to form. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I draw a pole right here, there you go. This is a flag pull, and this is the flag, and here is the breakout. All we need right now from NIO is some positive news to break this sector sentiment. That's all we need. If they beat the estimate and the expectations on earnings coming up, even by a small amount, NIO is going to go up. Right now, they're expected to have an EPS of 0.32. If they end up hitting 0.3 or 0.25 or even 0.2, they are going to have a significant positive impact. If the EPS goes up even in the smallest amount, like up here, like 0.2, 0.15, 0.1, something like that, the stock price is going to go all the way up to like $6 or $7 or something crazy like that. You mark my words, if the EPS beats the expectation, the stock price is going to go up like crazy, probably well back into this area up here. So if you invest now on May 29th during the next earnings call, you you very well could have a good amount of profit, maybe even double if the stock price goes back up to $7 or $8. I officially own 2,300 shares of NIO, and I believe in the stock. What do you guys think of NIO? How many shares do you guys have? Let me know in the comments below how many shares you have, what your average price is, and how long you've been invested into NIO. So if you haven't gotten into NIO yet, now is the time, and I recommend selling puts. Go 1 to 2 weeks out, which I've done right here. Click sell put. If you're watching this in the future, pick any expiration date. That's 1, 2, even 3 or 4 weeks out. Right now, I would sell a $4 put or a $4.50 put. In fact, $4.50, I don't think it's going to go much below that. Right now, it's at $4.40. I think this is pretty much rock bottom. Now is the time to get in. So you can click on $4.50 or $4. If you choose $4, you're only going to get about $4 premium per week. So I would recommend going out 2 to 3 weeks. Here is 2 weeks. I will get $8 premium. If I go out 3 weeks, I will get about 12, which is what I would do. Click on the 3 weeks, click continue. I'll sell it for 12. Click review order. You'll see that your collateral is $400. You'll get a $12 juicy premium. And then if NIO is above $4 at expiration, you keep the premium and you can try again, or just buy the shares, or you can just not sell puts and just buy it since it's already at a bargain anyway. However, if you end up wanting to go out 3 weeks and sell a $4.50 put, you can do that right here. That'll give you a $32 review order, $450 collateral, but you're collecting $32 juicy premium, averaging $10 a week, actually a little bit more than $10 a week. But then if you end up getting assigned at $4.50, your average cost is really $4.19. So as long as NIO stays above $4.19 in the next 3 weeks, this is perfect for you. And that's how we're going to get into NIO. If you guys believe in NIO yourselves, now would be the time to invest, in my opinion. I think now is the perfect time. I sold 23 contracts of covered calls earlier, netted me a profit of $185. So NIO is going to generate about $185 every 14 days. So closer to $370 a month, which is about $4,000 a year, just a little over $4,000 a year in profit from selling covered calls on NIO. Can't complain about that. I invested $10,000 into NIO. How much have you invested in NIO? I'll see you guys on the next upload. Be sure to subscribe, tap the bell, give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And remember, let's grow our wealth together. Take care, guys.